Hello, kindergarten scientists, and welcome back to Science with Mrs. Miller. We have already learned that scientists explore the world through their five senses. And as you know, one of our senses is the sense of touch. Well, one way that scientists explore the world through sense of touch is by observing the texture of things. But what is texture? Have you ever heard that word before? Say the word texture. 1, 2, 3. Texture. Very good. So texture simply describes the way that something feels. For instance, feel your hair. Oh, my hair feels smooth. Feel your clothes. My clothes feel soft. Feel your skin. How does your skin feel? Does your skin feel soft and smooth also? There are all different textures, and we're going to learn about many different textures in this lesson today. So let's start out by reading this book called Spiky, Slimy, Smooth. What is Texture? By Jane Brocket.
I'm going to read Jane Brockett's clever concepts, Spiky, Slimy, and Smooth. What is texture? Touch your nose. How does it feel? The way something feels is called texture. Look around to see what textures you can find. Furry slippers are soft and fluffy. They tickle your toes and keep your feet warm. What else is soft and fluffy? How about layers of soft, sweet cake and frosting? They feel light and spongy when you eat them. Jam is sticky and gooey. It's easy to spread on toast, but it stays on your fingers until you lick it off. You can feel things with your feet too. Have you ever felt mud between your bare toes? It is gooey and very oozy. Old flower heads are dry and papery. Rub them between your fingers. They crumble into little flakes. Cookies sprinkled with sugar feel dry, too. The sugar makes the ridges on top stand out. You can see them as well as feel them. Cactus plants are spiky and sharp. They aren't nice to touch. Pebbles and stones can be sharp and pointy, too. It's much easier to walk on them in shoes than with bare feet. Candy wrappers are smooth and shiny. They make a rustling sound when you scrunch them up. A watermelon has a thick, smooth skin. It protects the juicy fruit inside. See the next picture. There it is. Look at all these different squash. Some are plain and smooth, some are knobby and warty, and some are curvy and lumpy. Oil is greasy and wet. It makes these tomatoes slippery and slidey. Raw eggs are wobbly and runny and slimy. They're very funny. Just picked fruits and vegetables taste fresh and crisp. Apples are firm and crunchy. An apple makes a loud sound when you bite into it. Lettuce feels light and crinkly and easy to eat. Fresh fallen snow can be crisp and crunchy under your boots. But if you catch a snowflake on your tongue, you can feel how light and cold it is. Things made from metal feel hard. When we hold them, they don't bend or change shape. Tiles are hard. They are smooth and cool to the touch, but the thin gaps between the tiles feel gritty and rough. At home, we have soft, squishy textures to keep us warm. On winter days, it's nice to snuggle under woolly blankets and stitched cotton quilts. What else is nice to touch? Apricots and peaches are fuzzy and dry. If you could hold a butterfly, it might feel soft and dusty and very fluttery. Some things are not so nice to touch. These scrubby brushes are bristly and scratchy. Bricks and stones are hard and rough. They might scrape your knuckles and knees if you tried to climb this wall. Candies have lots of textures. Some are stretchy and rubbery, some are smooth and melting, some are crackling and crunchy. Textures are all around us. Everything we touch has its own texture. Look and feel all around you and see what textures you can find. What words would you use to describe them? What words would you use to describe these? The end. Thank you for listening to this book. Please check our website at the Missouri Botanical Garden.
All right, now take a look around. See if you can name 3 things that are in the same room where you are, and see if you could name their texture. What might that object feel like? Ready, set, go. All right, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. So were you able to come up with 3 different things and 3 different textures to describe those things? I'm going to tell you my 3 things. I said that the table where I am feels smooth. And I have a paper towel near me, and the paper towel feels bumpy. And then I have a mantle for my fireplace, and the mantle, if I were to touch it, it would feel rough. Okay, there are so many words to describe different textures. Right now, would you please pause this video here, and then I want you to click on the blue button up in the top right-hand corner of this screen to listen to a texture song. You'll hear all different texture words that you can add to your vocabulary. Then when you're done, come back here and unpause because we have a very special project to do together. See you soon. Enjoy the song. Welcome back, everyone. Nice to see you here again. So now, can you name 3 new texture words that you learned? Ready, set, go. All right, here are mine. Prickly, bumpy, and squishy. Were you able to name 3 also? If you were, give yourself a pat on the back. Nice job. So now it's time for a fun texture project. We will be making, give me a drum roll, ready like this. Drum roll, please. We will be making texture ghosts. This is what they'll look like. So let me show you how we'll make them. Here are the materials you will need. You'll need shaving cream, white liquid glue. You'll need 1 sheet of thick black construction paper, or you could also use a paper bag, whichever you prefer. You'll need a cutout of a mouth, and it could be the color of your choice. I chose black. You could use red, you could use pink, you could use whatever color you'd like. You'll need 2 googly eyes. You'll need measuring cups, scissors, a plastic bowl for mixing, and a plastic spoon for stirring. So before we continue on, make sure that you have all of these materials that you will need. You can pause the video here if you still need to get a couple of things, and then come back and unpause when you're all ready with all of your materials. All right, thumbs up if you have all of your materials. If you have all of your materials, we're ready to get started, so here we go. Follow these steps to make a texture ghost. Step 1. Draw a ghost outline on your paper bag or construction paper. So again, you're going to pause the video here, and then you'll draw your outline on your paper bag or construction paper. Now, if you're drawing on black construction paper, you can use a pencil. You'll be able to see it. You'll just have to really look closely and carefully, but we're scientists, so we have no problem doing that. Another option is, instead of drawing with a pencil, you could draw with a piece of chalk if you have chalk. But a pencil should work just fine. You should be able to see it. It will be a faint line. And if you're using a paper bag, then you can really use anything to draw with. You could use a black marker, you could use a pencil, anything will show up. So pause the video here, finish drawing your ghost outline, and then come back when you're done. All right, scientists, for step number 2, we will need to do some measuring. So you're going to mix together 3/4 of a cup of shaving cream with 1/4 of a cup of white glue. But as you do this, this is what I want you to do. And by the way, if you're in school, your teacher may have pre-measured for you. If you're at home, you're going to need to measure yourself. Here's what I want you to do, though. When you take that shaving cream, I want you to touch it before you mix it. I want you to touch it, and I want you to describe the texture of it. So go ahead and do that right now. Touch that shaving cream and describe the texture. How does it feel to you? Call out one texture word that describes the way that the shaving cream feels. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Foamy. Yeah, I thought that the shaving cream felt foamy when I made this project. Did you think the same thing? Or maybe you thought it felt like sudsy or soft or smooth. Now, as you measure your 1/4 a cup of white glue, I want you to touch the glue and call out one texture word that describes the way that the wet glue feels. Call it out in 3, 2, 1. Sticky. Did you say sticky? Or maybe you said wet. They both feel wet, right? Shaving cream and glue. They both feel wet. Maybe you said smooth. There are lots of texture words that we could use to describe our white glue as well. So after you have finished measuring, so now pause the video here. Make sure that you have finished measuring your 3/4 a cup of shaving cream and your 1/4 a cup of white glue. Once you're finished, you can unpause to learn our next step. Okay, so after you've measured them, you'll need to mix them all together. Make sure you've done that. And now we're ready for step 3. So step 3, this is the fun part, or the most fun part, I should say. I love this part. You get to add your gloopy mix to your paper ghost. And as you do it, I want you to describe different texture words to explain the way that the mixture feels. Go ahead. Put it on and describe how it feels. See how many texture words you can name. I'll name some myself. Goopy, sticky, wet. Can you come up with even more? Okay, you'll want to pause the video here. Finish adding your goopy mix to cover your paper ghost, and then unpause when you're done. All right, looks like your ghost is all covered in that gloopy mix. So let's go on to step 4. It's time to give your ghost a mouth. So you should have already had a mouth cut out. Now you'll just take that mouth and you're going to put it on your ghost where you think the mouth should go. After you're finished, you have to give your ghost googly eyes. So put those two googly eyes right on top of your ghost's mouth so that your ghost can see. And then last but not least, step 6, you're going to let your ghost dry completely overnight. Then, once it's all dry, you can cut your ghost out using scissors. And at the end, your project should look something like this. I can't wait to see these. Enjoy finishing up making your texture ghosts. And once it's all finished and dried, I want you to describe the texture of the ghost once it's dry. See if the texture has changed at all. Thanks for learning with me today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.